What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the PlayStation Drive, episode 114. My name is Matt, and I'll be your host for this adventurous events. I'm joined, as always, by the Supreme Court of Canada himself, Mr. Court Lalonde. What's up, Court?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
I'm okay. I reload it. No, I'm sorry. It's just I've always wanted to say that. I don't know why. It's from a song. It's an old song. You know, no one will get it except me.
Like one that they play with like a washboard out by the bayou as they cook some lizards on a stick.
Let it go.
Everyone, okay, well, first off, for our audio listeners, because everybody in the Discord was made aware, apologies for this week. The show was late because of me. I was sick, went down hard over the weekend, and I could not bring myself. I had almost no voice on Monday to do the recording, so I appreciate everybody understanding it, and thanks for being the best. But, you know, we have some cool stuff that we're going to talk about towards the end of the show that will actually be added onto the show. So make sure you stick around for that wonderful little tease. Yeah, special. But on this week's show, we're going to be talking about PlayStation Plus, Red Dead Redemption, is PSVR2 dead, and a whole lot more. So strap in. But before we do all of that, we need to clean this dirty old garage of ours because it's been a minute. If you're watching us on youtube.com/Carpool Gaming, please like, subscribe, share, hit that bell so you're notified when we go live. And please leave us a comment. It helps us reach even more people so everybody can see Court lean back. Lean back. See, that's a song reference that people will know. If you're listening to us on your podcast service of choice, make sure you subscribe and follow. Leave us with that 5 stars in the review because, again, it helps us grow and reach even more wonderful people all around the globe. And if you have extra bucks to toss our way, head to patreon.com/Carpool Gaming. Toss in bucks into the old tip jar, and out comes a cornucopia of content for you to consume in your daily adventure life. But without further ado, Court, listen. We've been busy. There's been a whole lot going on. There's been stuff. There have been things, and I need to tell you, I've been playing some games, man. But
I know you've been playing the bear game. I know.
I want to talk. I want to hear from you first.
All
Are you
right.
out of your funk? How you feeling? How is the gaming journey continuing?
So I have been still. I just finished watching Twisted Metal.
Nice.
I just finished watching the very last episode so that we could talk about it today. So I still have been doing a lot more of a visual journey. I got to watch. I went to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the weekend. Amazing movie. Soundtrack is phenomenal. It's kind of funny how I was watching Twisted Metal, and I think that has one of the best soundtracks of a TV show because it's all the music I like. And then I go to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it's old 90s hip hop, and it's so good. But I have been playing a couple of Vidya games.
Ooh,
so I was lucky enough to get the PS5 beta. So I have been the closest bear gamer. Wow. A closet bear gamer. No, I have not been playing. I have, you know what, Drellesh? I have Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm not even going to play it. I have it. I'm not going to play it.
Drellesh, that was an A+ comment.
I am not going to play it. Well, what I have been doing is, because I recently upgraded my PC, I have been playing more Ratchet and Clank on PC.
And?
It definitely needs the SSD, and it runs a lot better now that I have upgraded my computer. It feels like I'm playing it on my PlayStation 5 now. My daughter is actually playing it now, so she's actually enjoying it. But I've also, because of the PS5 beta, I've been testing out a couple things. One, a new feature that has become my favorite feature of all time. So they have a feature now that both of us can use one controller. So you can have a parent can be with their kid, and my daughter be playing Spider-Man. And when we were playing before, she used to have to pass the controller to me because she didn't like doing any of the boss battles or any of the fights. She just loved swinging around New York and just having some fun. So now what we're able to do is I can literally just take over. No passing controllers.
How does that work? Walk me through it. So your daughter's playing, and is it as simple as you picking up the second controller and pressing a button and you're in? Like, how does that process work?
It's as simple as pressing the button, then you sign in as that same person. So you're able to have 2 controllers signed in at one person. So you know how it's always like if someone's playing and you have to have a guest sign in or you have to sign in on a different profile. I'm signing into the exact same profile so that when she's playing, I technically could move her anytime I want, but she now can just let the controller stop moving and I can take over. Or if, say, she was playing a racing game or such, we didn't try that out, I can take over and help her out a little bit. But what we did in Spider-Man is she could swing through the world. And then if she was like, hey, can you take over? I was able to take over. Like she would still try and do some of the fight sequences. But if she was getting I could help her out. And if I press a button, it just did it for her. honestly, it is the best feature to me out of all the features that we got. I didn't turn off the noise on my PlayStation. I don't care about that. I'm sorry. That
Beep,
doesn't end relationships. I get it. Some people that bothers, but for me, I don't care.
beep.
The being able to have the controller and being using it at the same time as my kid is absolutely amazing. And it's going to make gaming more fun for me and my daughter to play games because we're going to be
Mhm.
able to actually play together. And then I got to try out the
So hold on, one
streaming.
more question
Yeah,
before
yeah,
you go on.
yeah.
So okay, let's say that she's swinging, she lands on a rooftop, she's getting into a fight, she's trying to fight. Is it as instant as like if you also started tapping, like shooting the webs?
Yes, at the
Would it
same
be
time as
doing
she
that
can do
concurrently?
the both controllers do both concurrently. Yes. So she
Wow.
could be
Okay.
moving and
Cool.
I could just press X.
Okay, and it would the input would
100%.
go
And
through.
we did try that out because I was asking her to try it out with me. It's phenomenal. It's the best feature, especially for a parent. It's the best thing that they put on the PlayStation 5 in a really long time. And it's something I'm so excited about. I'm like, wow, it just helps me game with my kid more. And it's just awesome. Second,
Okay.
I was testing out the streaming. So
Mhm.
there was a lot of kerfuffle going around about everybody talking about can you stream, can't you stream? So the only game that I was trying out was Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay.
On 1080p, it runs decent.
Okay.
Little to no latency. It runs very good. Now, mind you, I'm 1.5 gigabyte download, fiber internet. Like I'm hooked up.
Got
It's
the
very good
goods.
internet. Matt's got the same internet coming.
I
But
will be. Mhm.
when I turned it on 4K, I did see some stuttering. Now, this is a test period. I didn't see it right away. I was playing when there was a lot of enemies on the screen. That's when I noticed it.
Okay.
Other than that, I have to say it's a lot better than what previously I was doing. Like if I tried to play old Ratchet games from PlayStation Plus, when originally the service came out, PlayStation Now, PS Now, as I believe it was called. I can't remember
Yep.
anymore. I thought that service wasn't bad. And then when they moved it to PlayStation Plus, for some reason it got almost worse. But then in our Discord today, Brian Eck, he put in that article and I was reading it and I was like, okay, this explains a lot. They actually are using different servers for this test. It doesn't seem that bad. It actually makes me think this tech could work.
So let me ask you this then, because the stuttering that you did have, was it so bad that it hindered the experience, or was it
No,
more just like a minor annoyance?
a minor annoyance. It was
Okay.
like playing, I would say originally playing Cyberpunk on launch was worse.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it was
So
more
there's
of
some
like,
hope.
you know, when you do a roll
Yeah.
with
Do a
Aloy,
barrel roll.
when you're doing a barrel roll, when you're trying to fight and you've got all the different monsters coming in on different sides, or
Mhm.
I call them dinosaurs. I'm gonna call them that. It's just it is what it is. Um, every now and then it would stutter,
Okay.
but
But not
not
that bad.
really noticeable stutter. But I was looking for it, if that makes
Right.
any sense.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is all obviously with the caveats that you have fantastic internet. This is still a trial period, but so far, so good.
Yes.
Okay,
And then I
nice.
was testing out the Dolby Atmos
Mhm.
because, yes, I understand the PlayStation had 3D audio before, but unfortunately, it didn't sound the same coming out of my TV. I'm not a gamer that always wears a headset.
Mhm.
So when you're playing on a PlayStation, yes, you could wear a headset before and you get the 3D audio, which does sound extremely like Dolby Atmos. And it's literally how they did it. But now I'm able to get the Dolby Atmos sound while playing through my sound system, which is super cool. So I don't have to
Awesome.
just wear a headset. I'm able to play it. So for all the updates we've had in a really long time, this is a really cool one.
And no issues with licensing or anything when it comes to Dolby Atmos on PlayStation, because
No,
I know you
because
had
the
that
way
worry.
PlayStation had gone through it. Yes. So
Mhm.
on Xbox, you have to pay a licensing fee, but on PlayStation, because they're just pretty much using the 3D audio and pushing the Dolby Atmos through it, there's no licensing fee.
Heck yeah. Okay, awesome, dude. So so far the beta's been impressive. You're on board with a bunch of the features. You love the beep so much, you're keeping it forever. But so
It
far,
doesn't bother
so
me.
so
It
good.
just doesn't bother me. Yes, for
Okay.
me, the being able to use a controller at the same time as my kid, I think is just awesome.
Okay. Glad to hear it,
Plus, if
dude.
your friends are over, you could do that if they've been drinking in your party, and you could take over the controller and drive them crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say this could lead to some really interesting let's play scenarios in the future. So let's see what happens there. As for myself, I finally finished Cold Steel 4. Loved it. That game is incredible. It took me about 45 hours playing on the high speed mode. The last dungeon especially was just massive and epic. Finally seeing like the close to this like over 10-year long saga has been really, really cool. Shout out to NIS America. I have Trails into Reverie waiting for me on the Steam Deck, so I'll be hopping in on that pretty much immediately. I already started and watched the beginning cutscene just because I can't wait. And Reverie is basically the epilogue to all this. It adds on a bunch more story to the end of all this, so I'm really excited to continue on there. And yes, I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3, the bear game. I've been playing it on deck. Runs pretty well. I have it locked to about.
Did you say I've been playing it on deck? Like you just all of a sudden gave it a name. Play it on deck now.
That's the X handle. It's on deck. So that's what I'm doing. It's on deck.
Okay. All right.
And yes, Kevin, yes, you are playing ScheiGuy on your lunch break because that's what I appreciate about you. Yeah, so I've been playing it on deck, have it capped to about 40 frames per second on mostly low to medium settings because I want the battery life alongside. And I have it's been a pretty stable between 30 to 40. It hasn't really dipped under 30. The game is just it's Dungeons and Dragons. Like it really, really is more so than I think any game that I've played before. It really captures that experience. It takes a lot of learning and it kind of just tosses you in and expects you to figure things out, which I actually appreciate. The party's awesome so far. I completely just went off on a random adventure. I got to this chapel and there was these two people arguing outside, and evidently there was a bunch more people inside that were trying to rob the place, and it's this old decrepit thing. So I convinced the two outside that place is full of monsters. They ran away, went to the door, couldn't talk my way in. I found this massive hanging boulder almost off in the scaffolding, and I shot at it and it dropped and made a huge hole in the floor. So I hopped in through there, immediately started a fight with everybody that was inside, fought my way through. Only later did I find that there was 3 more ways in. So the game really does, let you kind of play the way that you want
Dragons,
to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So I wonder if I had, went in a different way, if I could have talked my way out of the situation and let them all live instead of brutally murdering all of them, but that's life. And then I found a skeleton.
Person. You figured this out already. Yeah.
Terrible person. Just destroyed them all. Found a floating skeleton man who became my friend. Saved a tiefling child from this awful woman. And now I'm trying to decide whether I should help her or kill her and free the other people. What else did I do last night?
So how close are you to having relations with a bear?
I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I have to see how far this takes me. Especially because I'm using my own custom character. I'm not using one of the preloaded characters.
Are you going to have a relation with a bear?
We're going to find out. I have to find out who this bear person is. I don't know who the bear person is yet.
Do you want to have relations with a bear?
I'm not against it. If the opportunity presents itself and there's connection, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to close the door.
So, you would say that you want to have a relationship with a bear.
I would say I'm open to it. I think it would be very exciting.
Ooh, bear. Okay. Ooh, like a gummy bear.
So yeah, the game's fantastic. Really enjoying it. I'm excited for it to come to PS5 in a month because I think this game is just also breaking
you've opened that door. Are you playing Starfield Day and Date, or are you playing this on PS5?
I'm not going to play it again on PS5 because I'm already playing it on Steam Deck. So for me, I'm not going to pay for it again, just a double dip. I'm going to keep playing it on Steam Deck this month. This month, I'm really going to use for Baldur's Gate 3 and also Trails into Reverie. Sea of Stars is around the corner. I want to get ready for Starfield. But yeah, that's kind of on my docket. I'm excited to keep going with it. But without further ado, because we opened up that door, let's transition into our first news story. Why Baldur's Gate 3 is an accidental PS5 console exclusive. This is coming from Engadget. Jessica Condit writes, Baldur's Gate 3 is available right now, partially. To be clear, the game itself is complete, but its rollout is fragmented, with different release dates for each of its planned platforms. Following a lengthy early access period, the PC version of Baldur's Gate 3 went live today, August 3rd, while the PS5 and Mac versions are due out September 6th. The game's developer, Larian Studios, has not provided a release date for the Xbox Series X and S editions. This isn't a wholly unprecedented situation. After all, plenty of games came out at different times on various platforms, but in the case of Baldur's Gate 3, though, something went wrong, specifically with the Xbox version. We have no exclusivity deal that prevents us from launching on Xbox, Larian Studios director of publishing Michael Dowse said on X in July. The issue is a technical hurdle. We cannot remove the split screen feature because we are obliged to launch with feature parity, and so continue to try to make it work. Larian is having trouble fitting Baldur's Gate 3 on the Xbox Series S, lower price and lower powered console in Microsoft's 9th generation lineup. Microsoft requires all games to run full feature complete and without changes in quality or mechanics on both Series X and S. So there we go. The article continues on. It has some more interesting stuff there. There's also go on to say that, Xbox is working with Larian now to try and get it onto Series S as soon as possible. But Court, what do you think about PlayStation accidentally landing themselves a timed exclusive?
Well, it works out for them, especially with Starfield coming out on the same date when they're going to be coming out on the consoles. But this goes to show us why we're getting Hogwarts Legacy later on. We're getting a game we're going to talk about soon coming to PlayStation 4, but we have Jedi Survivor that is now coming to PlayStation 4 that wasn't there before because the developers are having a hard time making games for these next-gen consoles and still having to deal with smaller specs and making games for lesser of a console, I would say, because as someone that used to own an Xbox Series S, I had to upgrade because it was actually driving me nuts. Even when you play games like Arkham, for example, it didn't look as good and it was trying to upgrade itself and it was trying to do all this upscaling and it actually was not doing a good job of it. And it was kind of driving me crazy. So I think this is a misstep for Microsoft. And I think if they had to change the way they decide how the games are developed, they might not put in there it has to be able to be developed for Xbox Series S if you can't make it for X, because we've heard this before and we've had some people come out and say this isn't true, but now we have another developer. And for me, where there's smoke, there's fire. When this many developers are saying, hey, this is a pain in the butt to have to develop for one, which is making the other one not as good, I think it isn't good for gamers. We're 3 years into this console life cycle of these new consoles. It's about time that we move on from the older consoles. Us PlayStation gamers, this is probably the perfect time to go out and buy a PlayStation 5. If you don't have one right now, you're able to go out and buy one right now. We have people in the Discord that have just bought them. Look at all the games they can play. And Sony first parties are only going to be PlayStation 5. So for me, this is just another example of, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, but Microsoft made this choice before the pandemic. So this is a misstep for Microsoft. And if this game is as good as you're saying and everybody else is saying, this is a big blow for them, regardless whether Starfield is going to be on that console exclusive. It still sucks for Xbox gamers that they'll get this game later on down the road, or maybe they might not get it.
It's interesting because, like PlayStation, obviously, like this game is breaking records right now. It's unlike that. I think in the top 10 games, highest concurrence on Steam of all time already. There's a lot of hype that's been building, and because of all the hype that's leading up to it, it's just exploding in popularity more and more and more. And this is, I would argue, a bit more on the niche side of the spectrum when it comes to RPGs. It's very dialogue heavy. It's a very, very, it's a tough game to get into, but we see the numbers doing it, where there's a lot of people who are now very, very excited for the PS5 launch. This just feels like an unforced error. I appreciate, Xbox backing, the what's it called, the feature parity across X and S, because then, you do get into situations where the S would just be the worst version of the games compared to what you have on the X. But you're right in that because of this, and like even Jedi Survivor coming to PS4, I think is absolutely ridiculous. That game barely runs on current gen hardware, and now you're going to try and bring it over to old gen. 100%. It's like there's so much here that's going on that I just feel like this gen is so weird of having one foot in old, excuse me, and one foot in the new. And there's just no real way to remedy that, especially now because of the S, because of stuff like the Switch, because of the, even with the rumored Switch 2 bringing stuff up to what would be, such, I'm guessing, around PS4 strength. We have this like foot in two camp scenario that's just been very present in this generation that I don't feel was as prevalent in previous generations. Agreed. So I think PlayStation, especially in a year where they haven't had as many first party exclusives, they haven't had as many, exclusives on the console as a whole. This is just an accidental win, especially when it's competing up against Starfield. I genuinely do think some people will pick Baldur's Gate now on the PS5 or over Starfield on the Xbox 100%. If they don't have Game Pass. Game Pass is an easy lock. So I think my biggest question is, will it come at all? When will it come? And on top of the fact that because of what's going on now, will they possibly pony up the money to even put this on Game Pass day and date with Baldur's Gate 3 when it eventually hopefully makes its way to console? Because obviously we want all gamers to enjoy their games wherever they want them to play, wherever they're able to play and wherever they are. So I think this opens up some interesting questions. And I guess we'll have to see what happens. But I got like, folks, if this wasn't on your radar yet, go check it out. It's fantastic. And I have no doubt that it's going to be awesome on PS5. Let's roll on to our next story, because speaking of old games, Red Dead Redemption is coming to PS4 and Switch next week. This is coming from BGC, written by Chris Scullion. Red Dead Redemption will be coming to PS4 and Switch next week. It's been revealed. A new trailer posted on the Rockstar website says the port will be released on August 17th. It will cost $49.99 USD, and it will include the Undead Nightmare DLC. A physical edition will be released on October 13th. Court, there's been so many rumors. There's been so much misplaced hype about this game having a full remake, a from the ground up remake, to, you know, a completely remastered, you know, edition. And all we're getting is a PS4 and Switch port. Where are you at on this?
I don't know why we need this. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people that only game on Switch. So you know what? They're going to play this game. But for those people on the PS, like, who is this game for? Like, I don't understand. As someone that really liked this game on the PlayStation 3, who is going to go out and buy this and play this on their PS5 on PlayStation? I don't understand what Rockstar is doing. They've come out, Zelnick's come out many times and said that they're not going to do stuff like this. And then boom, they go out and do this. They already did that terrible GTA port that they did. What's to say this port's going to be any good? I have zero faith in this game playing well or looking any good.
Well, especially because like they went on record a couple years ago talking about how, you know, their ports are different. They're not just ports. They put effort into their remasters and into their remakes. And what we're getting is the direct opposite of that again. I'm going to bring in Nagachaka here, who has a question about this, who says, will you two be buying Red Dead Redemption for the PS4 on day one at full price, or will you be waiting for a sale or not buying it at all? I personally will be waiting for a major discount before I buy it, as I'm quite disappointed in what the PS4 version offers for the day one price, especially when you compare it to the Xbox versions through backwards compatibility. Kurt, where are you at?
Yeah, I wouldn't even attempt. I don't care. I'm not buying it unless it's an actual like remake. I'm not playing this game. I'm not buying this game unless it's on PlayStation Plus. It ain't gonna happen.
I'm with you entirely. This has gone from, oh, I'm curious to absolutely not. The price point is ridiculous. The fact that like Nintendo, charged the same amount for a from the ground up remake of Metroid Prime. There I can understand. For a simple port, and again on Switch, you have that, ever-present Switch tax, so it doesn't really surprise me that it would be full price there. But for it to come to PS4 at full price is ridiculous, especially when the Xbox versions are so good, wasn't it? Like HD, 4K 60.
For one thing, I'll say about backwards compat on the Xbox Series X. Like I said, I was complaining about Arkham before. You can go out there and play Xbox 360 games, and they look great on the console.
So that's what I mean. Like who is this for? This seems like such a lazy cash grab. Yep. This feels to me like, oh, GTA 6 was supposed to be earlier than it is, and now they're putting out something to kind of bump their sales number up ahead of next year. Like this just feels greedy. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it whatsoever.
Oh, but I'll put something out. GTA 6 there'll be a PS4 copy for that. Like that'll come out on PS5.
I sincerely hope not, dude.
This is Rockstar. There is no way they're not going to, because if the rumors are all true and it's pretty much all said in their shareholders meeting, they said they have a big game coming next year that's going to make millions upon millions of dollars. I think we can all connect the dots without trying to figure out what said game is. But if you look at the base, if companies like EA are making a Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor PS4 copy, and WB made a PS4 copy for Hogwarts Legacy, I have a funny feeling there will be, and I'm not saying it could be day and date, it could be after, but I think you're going to get a GTA 6 PS5 copy. There will be a PS4 copy, because those consoles, there's obviously a market for it, and maybe they're testing it with Red Dead right now. If they sell a whole bunch, yeah, you're getting a GTA 6 on the PS4.
I really hope not, because I think what that game kind of needs to be, given it's the first GTA in over a decade, I think it's going to be severely held back by old gen console, by hardware. But
everything seems to be being held back by old gen consoles. We look at Horizon, Burning Shores DLC. played and looked amazing compared to even a game that did look amazing on the PS5, but it looked even better when it was PS5
Yeah.
only.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think this story sucks. I don't like it. Like, it just feels like a really crappy cash grab. But let us know in the comments. Are we off base here? Are you going to be picking it up day one? Especially at a time, dude, where there's so many incredible games that just came out or are on the horizon. There's no space for this for me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
there's not a chance. Let's keep the news train a rolling. Coming from the homie Steve Vigvari over on Mobile Syrup. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 confirmed with November 10th
we know that
release
guy.
date. We know that guy. It's like he's been on the show or something before. Activision has officially confirmed the release date of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. This year's installment of the annualized first-person shooter aims to retain its traditional fall release schedule. In a teaser video, we see Modern Warfare's staple green aesthetic shift into a vibrant red, though the clip is rather short, featuring glimpses of Captain Price and villain Makarov. The video then ends with the confirmation that Modern Warfare 3 is launching on November 10th. A description under the teaser reads, "The ultimate threat awaits."
But that is such a good monster truck voice.
Thanks, man. What do you think?
I think I want to play the campaign, but I'm not a multiplayer guy for Call of Duty, but their campaigns have been great year after year. So I usually wait for Call of Duty to go on sale and then I buy it because I'm playing their 7-hour campaign. That's what I play Call of Duty for. But I'm excited. It's Call of Duty games are good. Like, they're not bad. You know you're getting a quality game. Even when people complain about them, I'll end up playing them and I'm just like Vanguard, for instance. They played the campaign. I'm like, why was everybody angry about this game?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Yeah, this doesn't really do anything for me. I'm not a big Call of Duty.
That makes sense.
I've always been more into Battlefield. So for me, Call of Duty is just, I don't know. It's never really been my thing. I'm not usually one to go play the campaigns or anything. But I'm excited for people who are excited. But like with Persona 5 Tactica coming out in November and all this other stuff coming around that time, I'm not gonna have time for Call of Duty, dude. There's gonna be Persona to play. You know?
Yeah, because we've got Spider-Man and Assassin's Creed in October. And
dude, there's a whole giant list of stuff.
It's a crazy list of games that are coming out. But Spider-Man, for me, the next two games are Spider-Man and Assassin's Creed. And those both come out in October. And then I'm just, I'm hoping that I can finish Assassin's Creed just in time for Spider-Man, and then I'm good.
You're good. And I mean, there's gonna be Super Mario there.
Mario, I'm gonna get Super Mario Wonder. That's definitely gonna be purchased, but that's that's my daughter's game, and I can play that after Spider-Man.
After Spider-Man. 100%. Let us know in the comments. Are you stoked for Modern Warfare 3? And I've got nothing more to say about it. So
You're like, I don't care. It's like me talking about it at JRPG. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't care. Coming from Push Square, written by Kale Adam. PS5's Pro Controller, the DualSense Edge, is the best-selling accessory in the US. Edge. Wow, what was that? US. The DualSense Edge, PlayStation's answer to the Xbox Elite Controller and Nintendo's Pro, is the best-selling accessory in the US for the month of June. In fact, the top 4 spots have all been claimed by different DualSense configurations, according to noted industry analyst and entertainment software expert Matt Piscatella of the NPD Group. This admittedly comes as something of a surprise. According to our own polling, the PlayStation faithful didn't seem especially enthused by the premium piece of tech, with common complaints cited as being the device's relatively limited battery life and hefty price tag. And in fact, out of 1,633 core gamers invested enough to vote on an enthusiast PlayStation site like Push Square, an overwhelming 64% purported to have no interest in the DualSense Edge whatsoever. Court, you have one. I have one. Does this surprise you?
What always surprises me about things such as this, and especially the news, when they talked about, like, it seemed that, the gamers didn't like it. But what we have to get out of our head is that zeitgeist that we live in on social media is a drop in the bucket to the amount of people that have probably bought this to play Call of Duty or anything like that. And like us, we use it, and it's the only controller I pretty much use. So to say I don't like it, and for me, battery life doesn't matter. I don't play games for over 4 hours, and I can always just put it on the charger. So I don't think the things that we like to complain about because we pick little things are as big of a deal to the masses as we think they are. So when I think the price tag is probably the only thing to do with this controller that is the biggest hurdle, because once you get the controller and use the controller, it is better. It is better than a regular DualSense. So if you're able to get it, like yourself, you were able to get a good deal on it. Thanks to PlayStation Canada, I was able to get one myself. It's the best controller I use on the PlayStation. It is.
It's fantastic, and DualSense is already a fantastic controller, and the Edge has really grown on me over the course of the last month or so that I've been using it. It's just, it is expensive, and at $300 Canadian dollars, it is very, very pricey. But I think you're right. There is something about the folks that walk into your big stores, your Best Buys, your GameStops, and they see this controller, they see the $300 price tag, and they might think, wow, that must be a premium, great controller. I haven't seen or heard much about it because, again, outside of our echo chamber, this thing is obviously selling. I think I am surprised that it is selling that well.
Same. I was shocked at these numbers.
Yeah, which is great because I hope that means that PlayStation will continue to play around in the accessory space. So
can we just get a Design Lab PlayStation if you're listening?
Seriously, dude. Yeah.
Look into my eyes, PlayStation. Look into his eyes.
Please. Look into his eyes. Please.
Please. And it doesn't have to be for the Edge. Can we please get a Design Lab for two things? I want three. Oh, you're gonna add a third. Oh, this is spicy. I want for the DualSense, I want a Design Lab so I can pick colors, do whatever I want. And for the plates, please give us a Design Lab, people. Please, Sony, please give us Design Lab.
I'm even throwing in the Edge because I think at that point, if you're paying that much for the controller and it costs you an extra $30 or $40 to get your customized Persona, Spider-Man, Horizon controller,
they have detachable plates on this. It's asking me to do whatever I want with it. Just send it to me, or even send us all the stickers. I saw it. I've seen it on Etsy a bunch of times to get the sticker to make the logo. The old plate.
I know.
I think I'm gonna pull the trigger, man. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger.
I've been staring at the same thing for the PS5 console itself because you can get that little insert sticker that you can put in.
Yeah, and you can have the old PlayStation logo.
Yeah. PlayStation, just give us Design Lab, please.
Yeah, please.
But yeah, I think this is cool, and I'm curious to see, especially how these numbers will continue once this thing starts to go on sale more regularly, because I think that's when we'll see a pretty decent spike. Continuing on, we have our PlayStation Plus games for the month of August. Coming out this month, we are getting on Extra and Premium Sea of Stars, which is day and date at the end of the month. We're getting Moving Out 2, which is also day and date coming to PS4 and PS5. We're getting Destiny 2 The Witch Queen on PS4 and PS5. Lost Judgment on both consoles. Destroy All Humans 2 on both. 2 Point Hospital Jumbo Edition on PS4. Source of Madness across both. Cursed to Golf across both. Dreams on PS4. PJ Masks Heroes of the Night across both. Hotel Transylvania Scary Tale Adventures across both. Lawn Mowing Simulator Landmark Edition across both. Spellforce 3 Reforced coming on to PS4. Midnight Fight Express on PS4. And our PlayStation Premium classics are Medieval Resurrection, Ape Escape on the Loose, and Pursuit Force Extreme Justice. I think this is a great month, dude. I think this is the strongest month we've seen in quite a while. I'm stoked on Cursed to Golf. It's a game I've been excited to play for a while.
Star City keeps talking about it in the Discord, telling me how good it is. I can't wait to play this game.
I've been staring at it. Lost Judgment is incredible for any RPG fans.
We'll move on. Yep.
Destiny 2 The Witch Queen, I've been curious. I don't know.
Same, which annoys me because I bought it when everything was on sale, because I keep telling you the game I'm going to go try out as my always going to game to keep playing is I'm going to try and get into Destiny. And that was, I'm on vacation next week, so I won't be here. And when I get back, as I said to you, Matt, I'm going to start playing Destiny and see if I can get into it, because it seems like a game. Now, Moving Out 2, I've never even played one, but people say this game is fun.
It's great. If you like Overcooked, you'll like Moving Out. I don't think it's as stressful. It's sillier than Overcooked, but there's just something about like working, like Senna and I used to play it all the time together.
I can play this with my kiddo, right?
Yeah. Where it's just like you literally both grab the end of a couch and then you're trying to throw it over a pool to get it, instead of going through the house and going around the turns and corners and stuff. It's just silly, like grabbing a TV and pelting it out the window of a second story building, trying to land it into the truck. Like it's a ton of fun.
And I don't know if you can see that, but that's a hoverboard with wheels on it. The hoverboard from Back to the Future 2 is in that picture. I'm just saying, I can see it right now. If you look at that couch, that is the hoverboard, the exact same way the hoverboard looks.
That's a skateboard, dude.
Now I know, but Google the hoverboard from Back to the Future, and it's the pink with it looks exactly like that.
Yeah, like this is a great get. It's a game that I was excited about. That wasn't like, it's not a day one purchase for me, but I will definitely be playing it day one on PlayStation Plus.
And Destroy All Humans 2 is a game I wanted to get into before you talk about Sea of Stars. I know you want it, but this game to me is just like hey, go in, have some fun for a couple hours. If I don't like it, I don't. But the thing I like about this lineup is because you're going to talk about seasons. There is something for everyone here. Because
Yep.
Dreams, I still haven't tried it, but we have games for kids. We have games for families. We have games
Mhm.
for people that like. There is a game for everybody here, and they're doing a very good job. And this is something you and I have been saying for a while. Xbox did such a good job at this last year with Xbox Game Pass. PlayStation
Mhm.
Plus has been doing a good job, and I would say silently for the last couple months.
I think this is their strongest month in a while. Like you said, like Sea of Stars and Moving Out 2, we're getting two great games, coming day and date to the service, which is exactly what we've been asking for. I was stoked when we found out that Sea of Stars was coming day and date because it was coming to Game Pass. And for us to now get Moving Out 2 is just a cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. So for
And
me,
we also got I call it Tiger Woods Golf. I got 2K PGA 2K 23. The game's great.
yep.
Like there's some games that even come to because we keep forgetting the games that come to PlayStation Plus and the games that come to they're two separate things. We're getting all
Mhm.
these great titles, and even us as detractors for a while about the service and about the 3 tiers, they're giving me value over and over again, and they've been doing it consistently for a
Yep.
couple months. So I have to give them credit that at the end of the year, I think we can do a whole we'll do a whole, PlayStation Plus versus Game
Retrospective.
Pass. And I
Mhm.
think that we're PlayStation Plus, it could come out on top.
I think it's making the right headway. I think if we continue to see these these games coming day and date, if we're getting more of this on the service, I still think extra is the place to be. We haven't even talked about the premium stuff because again, it's fine. But like for me, like extra is really
Medieval
strong.
is actually a very good game.
Never played it, but
It's
like
actually
I
fun. Yeah, I'm just
and
saying.
yeah, this is like the remastered ones, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a great month. I think this is a really strong month, and I'm excited to try out a whole bunch of these games. So just more to the backlog, my dude. There isn't
Yeah,
enough time to
my
play
only
all
thing
these
with it,
games.
if I can give one criticism to PlayStation Plus, is games like Spider-Man should have never left the service. If it's a first party game, it should never leave the service. It should
Yeah, I
always
don't.
be on the service.
Yeah, I think we're right. I think we'll see it next month. I think September is going to be like here, play your PlayStation Spider-Man remastered. Watch, like I had no doubt in my mind
Yeah,
that
it
they're going to
makes
do it
sense.
next month. Our final story that we're going to talk about before we get into one of your wonderful questions is one that lit the internet on fire. And it isn't really a story, but Ryan McCaffrey sent out a tweet over, from IGN saying, "I massively regret the $597 including tax that I spent on the PSVR2. I love great VR game experiences, and I was so excited that Sony was doubling down with the truly powerful second-gen headset, but they burned me. There are no games. It already feels dead. Look at that layer of dust." Court, this has been, a lot of people have been talking about this online. People in the Discord have been talking about this, and we need to weigh in here. Is PSVR 2 dead?
One, how, regardless of whether you're using the thing or not, do you let your room get that dusty? What is wrong with you? Like seriously, Ryan McCaffrey, clean your room. What are you, 4? Just clean your room. Wherever this is, dust it off. Whether you're using it or not, I think this is all based on the person. I personally use mine. Matt and I, for a
Mhm.
while there, we've been playing a game where, in fact, the developer will be coming up after this episode because we've talked to him for Walkabout Golf, mini golf. I love that game. It's one of the most
Mhm.
fun games I've played this year. I still
Yep.
like it. I have more fond memories of playing that with you than most games that I played this year. I still play Beat Saber. I thought Horizon Call of the Mountain was one of the best games that I played this year. It's in
Yep.
my top for game of the year. I know it's not going to be my game of the year, but when I've got to give my list, that game was amazing. I think it's all personal perception. Do I feel that I have wasted my money? No, but I could see how someone else, even though there have been videos of Ryan McCracken praising Gran Turismo and how great it is in VR. I think we can almost say this about any tech. Do I want PlayStation to bring out, more first party games? Sure, but they haven't really brought out a lot of first party games for the PlayStation 5 either. And the indie games that we've been playing on the PSVR 2, they've been phenomenal. Like one of your favorite games is Synapse.
Dude, Synapse is one of my games of the year for sure. Like, I understand where he's coming from. If there's not a lot there
Yep.
for you, I completely get that. There are games coming out this month. There have been games hitting the month, heading the store every single month for this hardware. We're not even 6 months in. If we, or maybe we just crossed 6 months. It is early days for this. I think that if you had watched what Sony did with PSVR, I don't think this should come as a surprise. The rollout was slow. It took time, and especially like you've been mentioning, with everything that's been going on in the industry for the last couple of years, I don't think you can be surprised if you're having buyer's remorse because you decided to hop in on day one. I'm sorry, that sucks, but that's also shouldn't be a massive surprise. I'm hoping that this will be proven wrong over the course of the next couple of years because, yes, there isn't a lot that we've seen from PlayStation proper. There isn't a lot of first-party stuff that we've seen. Is that a cause for concern as of yet? I don't think so. I don't think that this is a dead system by any stretch of the imagination. I think the tech here is fantastic, and I think there will always be naysayers. It's just that, like, again, have you played Synapse? Have you hopped into Walkabout? There's so much great stuff here that I think it's a little...
If you're looking for bad, you're going to find bad. Another Fisherman's Tale was one of my favorite games that I played this year. I have more favorite games that I played this year on my PSVR2 than I have on my PlayStation 5. But that's also because I use it. So for Ryan McCaffrey, who hosts an Xbox podcast and a Tesla podcast, maybe he just doesn't have time because he definitely doesn't have time to clean his house.
Yeah, I think this is just, I understand where he's coming from, and I can understand why people would feel this way, but I do think that it's a little disingenuous to say that it has nothing and that this place, that there's nothing coming. I do think that there's a reason to be worried as of yet, but I think if you are planning on buying one, maybe wait a little bit, see what else Sony's going to bring out and see what else it has to offer. If you're looking at this list of games that are currently there's more than there's over 100 stuff. There's even more coming. Do your research. Don't just hop in, willy-nilly and then complain a few months later that you wasted $600. Enjoy the tech. Enjoy it for what it is. But without further ado,
same guy that loved his Xbox One. So Ryan McCaffrey, I respect your opinion, but come on now.
Yeah, to each their own. If he's enjoying it, that's totally fine. But
hey, my biggest issue is he hasn't cleaned it. Like, seriously, respect things.
Yeah. Coming on to we have some questions, obviously, from the community here waiting for us. If you want your question read on the show, head over to the Discord, which is free to join, and toss your question in there. Or every week we'll have an X post go on asking for questions. Hop on there and ask them as well, or leave them in the comments. We check that too. Just like Black Wyver did, who said, question for the show. With the Immortals Phoenix sequel being canceled, since Ubisoft are focusing on Assassin's Creed codename Red, are there any other games that come to mind where you had hoped that a sequel was developed? I wish they had made a sequel to the Order 1886, albeit the game had its flaws but such a great story. Court, any games that you wish got a sequel that didn't?
I think I'm going to say the same answer every single time. I really wish I could get some more Infamous. Just give me another Coast. Figure it out. I know I don't want to give away what happened in the second Infamous, but figure it out. Somehow do a prequel, do something. Give me more in the Infamous world. And after watching the Digital Foundry video about the Order 1886, I'm tempted to re-download it. I don't know if anybody knows, there's been a patch for this game, and you can play it at 60 frames per second, and the game runs smooth, runs beautifully. I'm like 2 trophies away from getting the platinum, and I know the game is like 2 seconds to play, so I'm debating whether or not to restart that game and platinum it. So for me, there's the Infamous is number 1.
Yeah, I think for me, Infamous is obviously up there. I'd really love a new Sleeping Dogs. That game was fantastic. And for a game that never got a sequel, I think it really deserved it. I think everything that game did it well. Obviously, a few missteps here and there, but it was the first time out the gate. I think it deserved another opportunity to be awesome.
I thought that game was awesome, like from start to finish.
I can't remember anymore, but I do remember. I think the pacing was a little off. I think I remember.
Oh, when you go to the houseboat. The houseboat.
I think there was
okay.
I think there's a couple things that, again, like they could have just taken everything that it was and made it even better. So I think it sucks that we never got one. I'm genuinely upset we're not getting a new Immortals. I love Phoenix Rising. I thought it was a ton of fun. I thought it was a great game. That I think from what I heard, the DLC had some major missteps. But I think that team deserved another opportunity to come out and really make Immortals a fantastic.
It was better than what it copied. I'm going to say it. It is true. It was better than what it copied. It was a better game.
It was really good, dude. It was really good.
Seller on the Nintendo Switch. I'm not going to say the name because everybody all freak out.
Cooking Mama.
It was better. It was better.
Yeah, it is better than Cooking Mama. But yeah, I think that game really deserved another opportunity. Infamous is, of course, as always. I really want to do Jak and Daxter. I really liked Jak 2 and 3. And I would really love to see that series come back.
We're never getting that.
Yeah, I know we're not, but I want it. I think it'd be awesome. And obviously, I want a Mega Man Battle Network 7.
I am still waiting for a sequel to The Last of Us, but one day we'll get it.
To The Last of Us 2, I know, the better game. I understand. Drellesh asks, hey, Court, what are some of the quality of life improvements that we can expect with the new system update comes to us on PS5? What, in your opinion, still remains on the wish list? So we talked about, the good stuff, but what is on your wish list still to come?
Themes. All I want is themes. It just gets to a point. I want to customize. Like we talked about this. We want Design Lab. I want to be able to customize my PlayStation 5. It's the first console, like the PlayStation 3 and 4. I used to love. I was that guy who bought that $1.99 theme and changed it up and like changed icons. Like I want that.
So let me get this straight, Court. Would you say that you're one that enjoys customization and the freedom to be able to do stuff?
Yes.
So then why are you on an iPhone, which is the most limited thing that you could possibly have?
Not even,
Android is incredibly better.
We're not getting
Anyways,
into that.
moving on.
Customization.
Anyways, moving on.
Wow.
Wow. But no, I agree with you. I think themes and the customization on the PS5 is my major one too. I don't really know. Like a full Discord integration would also be cool. Like I hope that's something that we get. Being able to stream.
Because Xbox now has it. We can be able to stream to Discord.
Getting it.
That would be
So I would like to see full Discord integration.
Doesn't Sony own Discord? How is this possible?
I don't know. But I that's kind of the stuff that I would want. But yeah, I think the major thing is the themes. Give me like we had a question I think from Brian Eck a little while ago. Why can't we buy new avatars and stuff on PS5 anymore? Like why is that stuff all locked to the PS4? Just let me express myself through my profile. Just let me do it. Express yourself. Edward Varnell asks, who comes from at that retro code. If one Sony team were allowed to go to a TED Talk, who would you choose? And if the speakers were IG Onuma, Cliffy B, or Amy Hennig, which TikTok would you want them? Which TED Talk would you want them to go on? And what would be the topic? So first part of the question
is who would we want there?
Who would you want there? Yeah,
Shuhei, man, he's the best. Like honestly, if everything that I think about PlayStation as being fun, it's the first face I always see because Adam's gone, right? Like that video of them, like this is how we trade games, is still one of the most iconic PlayStation videos I've ever seen. It had there was no video game footage. It was just two guys having fun behind stage at E3. I love that stuff.
I think Shuhei would be really, really awesome, especially because we saw a lot of indie investment and a lot of indie backing during his time when he was in a different role than he is now. And I'd love to hear him talk about the value of indie to things like PlayStation. I think getting the folks from Insomniac as well, like Brian Intihar, would be really awesome. Speaking to stuff
Corey
like,
Barlog.
Corey Barlog would be cool as well. But I think Insomniac is at a really interesting place in the PlayStation catalog right now with they're holding the PlayStation 5 up like it's them. It is entirely them that are keeping that thing afloat. To be able to pump out as many games as they had, as many quality games as they have, and at the speed at which they've been doing it without compromising on the integrity and the well-being of their employees, I think it would, basically talking about the Insomniac way, I think would be a really cool way to shed some light on how they're doing it, because I think genuinely a lot of video game developers and publishers could learn from the way that they're handling stuff. So I think Brian Intihar, Amy Hennig, I think is also a great shout out, Ed. I think getting her to talk about, her time in the industry and everything that she's done would be fascinating.
I would love to hear her struggle story because she was ahead of a Star Wars game that we never got to see that it turns out they should have made. And I would love to hear not just the story of what happened, but how she overcome it to do other things after the fact. So how she got through that.
100%. I think that would be really, really cool. And our final question comes from Mr. Midas at Mr. Midas Games, who asks, what PlayStation remake announcement would you love to hear?
Where did this question even come from? I didn't see it anywhere. I didn't even know Midas, the man that won't come on a show with me and only comes when I'm not here.
Yeah, he has taste. You can't say Infamous. What remake announcement would you love to hear?
BioShock. I know it's not a PlayStation first party, but it has to be a PlayStation first party.
That's what the question was, Cord. But
all right,
if you want to just ignore the question that was asked.
I was rudely interrupting you while you were asking the question and tell me what Midas said because Midas doesn't like coming on the show with me. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I would love Killzone. I like the series. Because I'll say I always say Infamous. It's not going to be a platformer because I think Nintendo already does them better. I think Sony has done in the past with Resistance and Killzone. They did good shooters. They just let it go. I think if they could do a better story, Killzone Shadowfall was very good gameplay, but the story wasn't good. I want that gameplay with good story in a Killzone.
Yeah, I think for me, it's Resistance. It's a series that I just missed out on when it was happening. I never played it. And for me, I'd love to, play a from the ground up version of that game. I think it'd be really, really cool. So I'd like to see Resistance. I think, yeah, obviously Infamous is always our go-to answer, but I think Resistance would be really cool. But that, my friend, brings us to the end of this week's The PlayStation Drive. But before we go, Court, we have something that we're going to be tacking on. So audio listeners, you're getting a little treat right now. Okay. To the end of this episode coming up right after this, we're going to have a interview that Court and Seth did with who?
The creator, Lucas Martel, the creator of Walkabout Mini Golf for PlayStation VR2. I have a hard time saying that for some reason because it's I don't know why. It's like a brain buster for me. We are so glad to have had him on the show. He was phenomenal to talk to. He had a lot of insights into the world of VR and in the world of development. It was an honor just even talking to him. So you guys are in for a treat. It's like I said, it's been one of my favorite games that I've played this year, and it's the most I've had fun laughing, playing with Matt than I've played in a video game in a long time. So.
Exactly. And if you're watching this live right now, the audio version is going to go up tomorrow with again, the full show edited together alongside a video version that will be a separate interview here on the channel as well. So make sure you come check that out here as well. Because Court, thanks to the wonderful developers at Mighty Coconut, we also have some copies of the game to give away.
Yes. So we have 2 codes with the DLC. So all you have to do to get your chance to even get a code of this, one, come to our Discord. And there's going to be a way to get it through our Discord, and that's just going to be by commenting on the video. But we're going to do something on our socials, so on X or Twitter, whatever the heck you want to call it. It's 100% Twitter. I'm not going to change the name. All you have to do is like and retweet it. As long as you are following us on Twitter, you will be entered in a chance to win a copy of Walkabout Mini Golf. So I'm telling you right now, it is the best game on PlayStation VR2 by far.
Exactly. So if you want to call a chance to win a copy of Walkabout Mini Golf VR, just do one of those things. Nice and easy for you. Make sure you come check it out. And Court, you're also going to be gone next week.
I am.
You're not going to be around.
Who's going to be here?
Who's going to be here? Mr. Midas is returning to the show to come hang out with me next week. The show will be back at its original scheduled time at 1 p.m. on Monday. Mr. Midas will be here. He was on, what's it called? He was on Kind of Funny Games Daily. He was on Podcast Beyond. So make sure you go check both of those out if you haven't. Support a fantastic creator and an incredible friend. He'll be back with me on Monday to rock once again. But Court, obviously, before we go, where can people see and hear more from you?
You can find me on Twitter at Court Lalonde, or you can find me on Threads at Court Lalonde. Actually, you know what? I am not on there. No, I'm not on any other. I'm just on Twitter at Court Lalonde, or you can honestly find me in the Discord, on the Carpool Discord. Check out the links below. Come join in the fun and the conversation. We have a lot of fun in that Discord, so come there. Or you can find me on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on 3 Dads in a Console live on YouTube.
Yeah, and you can also find me over on X at Matt_SilverSoul, and of course here each and every week on the PlayStation Drive.
Also, because I will be here next week, you can also find myself and Matt is it next weekend? Yeah, it's the following weekend.
Nope. The end of the month.
End of the month. Yeah, it's not next weekend coming up. Like not this weekend, then next weekend, the following weekend after that, Matt and I will be at Fan Expo. We'll be there all day on the Friday. Come find us, drop us a line on X or Discord, and we'll figure out a way to meet up with you.
Yeah, exactly. Come hang out with us at Fan Expo on the Friday. But obviously, before we go, we have to thank our wonderful patrons. We want to shout out Miles of Amanda for officially joining the exclusive tier and welcoming in Peje EP. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name. PEJEEP at the gold member tier. And of course, we also have to thank all of our wonderful ultimate producers, Robbie Miller, who you can find at twitch.tv/Robbie Miller, Tony Baker, who you can find at youtube.com/quest4pixels, Jonathan Brown, who you can find his link tree at pme.jib, Lee Navarro, who is the fearless leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team. You can find him at phoenixoverdrive.com. And of course, Trucker Sloth. Our platinum producers, RJ Kern, and our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, Bowsah, Cecily Carrozza, Dannohh, Drellesh, Emily O'Kelly, Hoppel, John 32, Jonas Young, Jose Jimenez, Marcus O'Neill, Markus McCracken, Peje, Peje, EP, ScheiGuy, and Tim Aulph. We all obviously love and support, huge shout out to all of the patrons, but we have to shout those wonderful folks out. Folks, we'll be back next week with Mr. Midas, and Court will be back in a couple of weeks. We love you all very, very much. We'll see you soon. Peace.